All right, I asked you to do for homework questions 1 to 3 on page 459. And really all they're doing is they're asking you to find the components of the vector that they're giving you. In other words, find the legs. So in 1A, it's 16 meters at an angle of 75 degrees. So you draw it, and then you find the components. You draw in the components, y, x. I usually have someone who says, does it matter which one I call x and which one I call y? No, it really doesn't. I usually call the one going along the x direction the x, and the one going along the y direction the y, but feel free to call them the opposite if you want. It might get a little confusing in life, but you are welcome to. All right, so if we look at it, x is the adjacent side, and so I would use cosine. I'm trying to figure out where the edge of my paper is here. So it would be cosine of 75 is equal to x over 16 meters. So x is equal to 16 meters times the cos of 75, which you are then going to punch in your calculator and get x to equal 4.141 meters. Okay, and that would be like in the positive x direction. Can't really say east because we don't know which way the x and y axis are oriented. The y then is the opposite side, so it's going to be sine. So sine of 75 is equal to y over 16 meters. Is it just me or is that blurry? So then y is equal to 16 meters times the sine of 75. And again, you're going to punch this in your calculator. Sine of 75 times 16 and get 15.455 meters. Which way? Positive y. Okay, so then we move to the next one. So the next one is a 145-degree angle. And so really to get the right angle triangle, you have to find this is the x and this is the y. And you have to use the reference angle, which will be here, has to add up to be 180. So you could do it in your calculator or in your head, but you should get this angle to be 35 degrees. X again will be cos. So cos of 35 will equal x over, this time it's 8.1 meters per second squared. So x is equal to 8.1 meters per second squared times the cos of 35. Punch this in your calculator. Times what was it? 8.1. And you get 6.635. 6.635 meters per second squared, and this time it's negative x direction. Y is going to be sine. So sine of 35 is equal to y over 8.1 meters per second squared. So y is equal to 8.1 meters per second squared sine of 35. Punch this into your calculator. 35 sine 8.1, and you get 4.646. 4.646 meters per second squared, and that's going to be in the positive y. Okay, this one, and I just switched colors so that you could see this one, the x will be here, the y will be here. That's 225, so this angle should be 45 degrees. So x again is going to be cos, so cos of 45 is going to equal x over 16 meters per second. So x should equal 16 meters per second times the cos of 45. X is equal to 11.314. 3137 really, but meters per second in the negative x direction. Now I'd like to assume that you all know the sine of 45 and the cos of 45 are the same, but I'm not 100% sure that you do. So the sine of 45 and the cos of 45 are the same, in case you didn't know that, which means y is also going to be equal to 11.314 meters per second, and this time it'll be in the negative y direction. Okay, so that's it for number 1. Number 2. Switch back to my other pen. Number 2 is the same but a little bit different because it tells us resolve the vector into their components, so that's the same. And it's a displacement of 20 kilometers north 20 degrees east. So drawing it north, and then if the angle is less than 45, then it means the second vector is shorter than the first one. So since the angle is 20 degrees, then it means the second vector isn't very long. And so then my resultant always starts where the first one started and ends where the last one ended. This is 20 degrees, and this is 20 kilometers, I believe. Yeah. Okay, so this is y, this is x. X this time is going to be sine. So sine of 20 is equal to x over 20 kilometers. X is equal to 20 kilometers times the sine of 20. X is equal to 6.840 kilometers. Which way? This time we know it's east, we were told in the question. Y then is going to be cos. So cos of 20 is equal to y over 20 kilometers. So y is equal to 20 kilometers cos of 20. So y is equal to 18.794 kilometers north. Again, because we were told in the question. B. A velocity of 3 meters per second east 30 degrees south. So east first. The angle's 30 degrees, which means it's not going to be as long as the first one. And it's going south. So this will be your resultant. And it was 3 meters per second. And this angle is 30 degrees. X, y. X is adjacent, so it's cosine again. So cos of 30 is equal to x over 3. X is equal to 3 meters per second cos of 30. X is equal to 2.598 meters per second east. Y is sine. Sine of 30 is equal to y over 3. So y is equal to 3 meters per second sine of 30. Sine of 30 is 0.5. So this is 1.5 meters per second south. Letter C is 6.8 meters per second west, 70 degrees north. So west, and then 70 is bigger than 45, so the north needs to be longer. And this is your resultant. So this angle here is 70 degrees, and this is 6.8 meters per second. X, y. Cos of 70 is equal to x over 6.8 meters per second. Sine of 70 is equal to y over 6.8 meters per second. X is equal to 6.8 meters per second cos of 70. Y is equal to 6.8 meters per second sine of 70. Am I going to run out of time? Maybe. X is equal to 2.33 meters per second west. Y is equal to, I think that's 6.39 meters per second north. I'm going to run out of time on the next one. Number 3 is exactly the same thing, just a lot of words. In the end, it's telling you that it's east 60 degrees north. East 60 degrees north. So this is 60 degrees, and it's telling you it's 60 kilometers. X is going to be cos, y is going to be sine again. X should end up equaling 30 kilometers east, and y should end up being 52 north. sine and cos again.